Okay, so I'm going to do another video lesson. We're going to build a Minecraft fishing simulator. My kids enjoy Minecraft. It's pretty fun. Anyway, I wanted to do some sort of a simulator where we can use random and if statements to get some good practice with that. So the start code is here. So download and extract that. I've done that already. Minecraft fishing sim start. We'll open it up with Visual Studio Code. I've got an index.html, a little bit of style, and my main.js is empty. I remember to do useStrict this time. Remember, we do that for our modern JavaScript, gives us better error messages, that kind of stuff. But before we get started on that, let's take a quick look at what this looks like. Hold on here, I gotta make sure this is the active window. Let's try that again. Okay. So Minecraft fishing, the idea is I want to click this picture to simulate catching a fish. There's an 85% chance of catching a fish, a 10% chance of catching junk, and a 5% chance of catching treasure. Fish, junk, treasure. Okay, so we're going to keep track of totals. So we'll need variables for that, right? To keep track of, hey, how many of each have I caught? And what I want to have happen too is whenever we catch a fish or a junk or a treasure, we'll show a little image of what we caught down here. Okay, so we'll add that to the page. So let's see what we can do. Let's start by adding an event listener. So some of the key things, right? We've got our heading, our paragraph, our image, a paragraph with the totals in it. I've got a bunch of IDs set up already for things we'll need to select. And then the results is empty. That's down below the line here. The horizontal rule, that's where we'll put our images. Okay, and these span tags are so we can update the totals. Okay, so first of all, let's select the image because that's what we want to click. So main image. Okay, so we'll add our title here, Minecraft Fishing Simulator, something like that. Okay, start off with event listeners. We'll go document.get, element by ID, main img like that. We'll add an event listener. When I click it, we'll do a function called catchfish. We need to define that function. Function catchfish, like so, and let's just do a quick little console.log catchfish just to make sure that our event listener is working properly. Open the console, yay! Okay, so when I click anywhere else, nothing, but when I click on here, I'm catching a fish. Okay, simulation, I need a random number. Generate a random number. All right, let random be assigned math.random. And I'm just going to keep it simple. Remember, this gives me a random decimal between 0 and, or 0, but how do I say that? From 0 up to 1, but not including 1. Okay. And then I can do an if statement here. And if I think about what's going to happen, I have an 85% chance of fish, 10% for junk, 5% chance of treasure. So there's 3 possibilities here. Fish, junk, or treasure. So when there are 3 possibilities, I want to go to my if statements, and I want to do a chain selection statement. I want to select one of multiple paths, one of 3 paths. So let's just set that up. Let's just check, or I guess we could simulate. We'll call simulate results. So if something is true, do this. Else, if something is true, do this. Else, do this. Right, that's 1, 2, 3 paths. And even maybe what I'll do here is let's just do a quick little console.log. This will be I caught a fish. Console.log. This would be, what was next? Junk, I think. And then console.log. Spell console.log treasure. But now I need to figure out what goes into these if statements. And for that, I'm just going to go to the board here so I can draw some stuff out. Okay, the first thing I want you to think of, I'm on green, let's just go black. I'm going to make a number line. Okay, and when we get our random math.random, we get a number between 0 and 1, right? So if I have 3 possibilities, an 85% chance, a 10% chance, and a 5%, right? I want to break up this number line into those sections. So 85% of this number line would be from 0 all the way up to somewhere over here, 0.85. 10% of this number line would go from 0.85 to 0.95, and then the rest of it would be that 5% chance. Right? This is not to scale, I'm just estimating. But anyway, this whole section, right, this whole section here from 0 to 0.85, that would be me catching a fish, 85%, right? This section here from 0.85 to 0.95, this would be junk, which is my 10%. And do I have other? Let's go rainbow colors, fancy. And then this last little section here, oh, that's hilarious, would be the treasure. Oh, that's beautiful, which is my 5%. I think I should write in rainbow all the time. Okay, so this will help, right? And if you think of the map analyzer that we did, and I want to check if I'm within ranges, it's like saying, hey, am I less than 0.85 or am I less than 0.95? Else I'm in here. So that's how we're going to set up our if statement to test our random number. Okay, so the first thing I want to check is, am I less than 0.85? And if I am, right, if I'm between 0 and 0.85, I'm going to get a fish. So I'm going to go back here. If random is less than 0.85, it'll be a fish. Else, if random is less than 0.95. Remember, it'll only get to this else if this is false. So I know that it must be 0.85 or greater. So I want to check if it's between 0.85 and less than 0.95 to get junk, otherwise treasure. Okay, let's save that. And go back to here. Click. Okay, whoa, what are the okay, fish, that's better. So you say the first time chance I get is treasure is only supposed to be a 5% chance of that. That was lucky. But now we get more fish, treasure. Oh, got some junk in there. Treasure. I feel like I'm getting treasure too often. Oh, this is better. And some junk in there. Are these numbers right? Random, less than 0.85, less than 0.95. Yeah. And if we really wanted to double check, we could go console.log randnum. So we can just make sure that it's in the proper ranges. So 0.99 is treasure. That's fish. 9.2, yep, so 9.5 is the cutoff for junk. Fish again, fish, 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 fish. Treasure at the 0.97. Fish, fish. Yeah, 0.85. I thought we should have had some junk there, but I think we're okay. Let's get one more different one. 0.94. Ooh, close, almost 9.5. So that's the junk. Okay, so that looks like it's working pretty good. So that's actually the key logic here, right? Getting the random number and the if statement to simulate. Another thing that would be nice is to keep track of the totals, right? So for that, we need to use variables. So I'm going to go at the top here. I'm going to define some global variables. And I want them to be global because every time I run this function, I want to keep track of those changes, right? I want them to stay the same. I don't want to initialize every time I call it to catch fish. I want to just initialize them once up here. So let's create a variable called numFish, initialize it to 0, numJunk, initialize it to 0, and numTreasure, initialize that to 0. So if I catch a fish, really simple. I just want to go numFish and I want to add 1 to it. Remember, we can do that like this. NumFish is assigned numFish plus 1, right? I'll make it 1 more than it was previously. There's shortcuts for that though. We could go plus equals 1 or even shorter, plus plus. Okay, and here too, if I get junk, we can go numJunk plus plus, and here numTreasure plus plus. And this is great, it'll update the variable, but I need to display that onto the screen. So we have this ID, fish, junk, and treasure. So to update the new total, documents.get element by ID, fish.innerHTML is assigned numFish. Okay, that should work. And I'm going to copy and paste that here and say junk, num junk, and last but not least, treasure. Oops, I should have done the other one first. Treasure, num treasure. And hopefully I got those IDs right. Fish, junk, treasure, all lowercase. Yes. So now what we should see here is when I click, fish happened and it updated my total. Awesome. Another fish, another fish, another fish, some treasure, another fish. Okay, let's get some junk. Ooh, treasure again. Okay, there we go, junk. Okay, so this looks like it's working. So every time I click, it updates my totals. So the last thing I want to do is just add, instead of doing it in the console, I just want to add the fish down here. So I have a bunch of images here. Raw fish is what I think I want. The junk will be boots, and the treasure will be a bow. Okay, so we'll do that. Remember, I just want to add to this paragraph, I just want to add an image to it. So what I want to do, what's the paragraph called again? Results. Okay, so I'm going to go documents.getElementById results dot inner HTML is assigned, and I'm going to put an image tag in here. You can do text, but you can also, your text can include HTML tags, which is pretty cool. And now because I have the single quotes, if I want quotes inside of my string, I have to do the other quotes. So I'm going to do that, images/raw fish.png, like so, and we can do an alt, well, forget it. I'm just going to keep it a simple image tag like that. Let's copy and paste that into here. And this is my junk, which should be the leatherboots.png. Good. And copy and paste right here. And this will be my treasure, which is the bow.png. Okay, let's see what that does. I think it's not going to do exactly what we want, but okay, cool. I caught a fish, and it added an image of the fish there. I have some styling here so that the images inside of the results are 40 by 40 with a little border on it. Anyway, that's just, it's styled. Uh-oh. Okay, I wanted it to add. Okay, the treasure showed up. So what's happening here is I'm just doing the assignment operator equals, right? So it's replacing all of the inner HTML with this image. So it's not adding on to it. Really simple fix for that. Plus equals, right? We can do this with strings as well. Plus equals is not just numbers. And this will say, hey, take whatever the current inner HTML is and add this onto it. And that should allow us to now, yay! All right, so now whenever I fish, I get a visible result of what I get, and it keeps a tally of my totals for fish, junk, and treasure. That looks pretty cool. Okay, I want to do one more video on this. There's a couple of efficiency things I'd like to do, and I also want to do something with nested if statements to see, because there's different types of fish. You'll notice in the images here there's a clownfish and a salmon and pufferfish and stuff like that. So I want to say, hey, if I catch a fish, maybe there's a different probability of catching. What type of fish do I catch? So we're gonna set that up. Okay. Anyway, that's a great start. We got our variables, our totals, the click and the randomness and all that stuff working. The images being added. That's awesome. Next video, we'll add a few more features and clean some things up. Okay, hope that made sense. Take care and see you in the next video.